Is that Layton?
Was.
Where's the man who shot him, his partner? What's his name?
Gann.
Night shift?
Task force.
Anti-crack.
Yeah. He says they observed a suspect heading up the alley. Layton circled around. Gann was jumping. He shot.
I'm Captain Ferrillo. I screwed up, man. I screwed up. How long were you partners? 18 months. It's no secret. I didn't like to do it. The pretty boy, dressed like a pimp. You know how they are. They? But I didn't mean to kill him. They? Attention, please. People! I'll give you all that I have. Hey! Let's have a little attention up here. Thank you. Now, I know that we're all upset over the shooting that took place this morning involving two members of our night watch, Officers Layton and Gann. They were on special assignment to Division's Anti-Crack Task Force. Many of you will recall Hal Layton. He was a young man that Neil Washington took under his wing and helped him get on the force. His death is tragic.
What happened to Gann?
Yeah, Gann. Is he being charged?
Officer Gann is in the custody of the police surgeon for the standard 639 exam.
Is he busted? Who pulls the case?
All right, shooting case assignments. Officers Canby, Welch, Kuznowski, and Morantz. You will substitute for the night watch on crime site crowd control, and detectives LaRue and Washington, you will pull primary investigation and liaison with internal affairs. Captain Ferrillo has requested that all officers maintain a blanket press silence. Now, that's with special emphasis on this point, since you may have noticed upstairs a number of photographers among us. The Hill and its guardians of law and order has been chosen the subject for the Evening Tribune View magazine weekly feature, One Day in the Life of. They have been given permission to follow individuals around on assignment at the discretion of the officers involved. Use your common sense. All right, item 5. After 38 years as the department accountant, Larry Winston is retiring.
Who is it?
Item 6.
I don't even know his name.
Because of the continuing slowdown of the medical examiners, those of you unfortunate enough to encounter a corpse today may also encounter harried paramedics filling in. Expect an extra half hour sitting each stiff. Item 7. Lieutenant Bunce to the ophthalmologist this AM, 8 to 9:30. Lieutenant Goldblum to cover. And item last, our neighborhood Visigoths continue mugging excessive numbers of bums. Unfortunately, Mick Belker, who was working an undercover lure, was recognized by some of the potential victims, and as a result, we are stalemated. Dismissed. People, one more point. Common sense with the photographers today, but also common sense with each other, with speaking out of turn to each other about the shooting. We all want facts, not fictions. And in situations as these, I know from painful personal experience, truth is a precious commodity.
About this new gang?
What gang?
Visigoths. Are they from the Heights?
I was out at the site.
They didn't even bust it.
Who? Gann?
Chalk another one up for their side.
What do you mean, their side?
Gann's a stone racist. He hasn't been charged. And little Abner here doesn't really get it, does he?
Don't you work the night shift, man? Why don't you go back to night shift, get some sleep?
Hey, you're the one that's gotta wake up.
This far, up to these doors. Any pictures you want except for civilians, suspects, anyone in for questioning, booking, relatives of precinct employees. Yeah?
Who's what?
Hey, you can't take a picture like that. Come on, huh? What are you gonna do? A picture of me adjusting my acorns.
I'm photographing a day in the life. It happens to be a part of life.
I know. You scratch, I scratch. I just don't want the women and children of this city seeing me scratching my, gentle area.
Yeah, well, I won't give you the film. I stand on my First Amendment rights.
Yeah? Which one is that? Freedom to be a peeping Tom? I'm going to get my eyes examined. Watch your backs. Coming through. Stolen property. Coming through. Hand here. I'll give you a hand, all right? Come on, hey, help us out, huh? Come on, it's heavy. Lift. Look out. Look out. Roll!
You crunched my film.
We have a 911. Armed robbery in progress. See surplus store, corner People's Drive, 24th Street.
Takes out the kid who owns that corner. We got the scratch on the case. We saw a kid who matched the description, and we gave chase.
Sorry. You on tape? Glad you could make it. Officer Gann is filling us in on details of what happened this morning.
The kid looked like Leighton. Both tall, black, same build, smoothie. They both had on down jackets. They're both black.
You mentioned that.
Street lights were out. It was dark, man. I was edging along the wall, and Leighton came around the corner, and I clutched. I screwed up. He came around the corner like he was coming at me.
What do you mean by that?
Like fast, like attacking, like maybe he thought I was the perp.
Said the perp was black.
Or another perp, man. I don't know. You hear me? I screwed up.
I knew Leighton ever since I picked him up for boosting cars. I straightened him out, got him on the force.
All right.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry he's dead, but the guy was a jerk.
He never would have made a mistake like you did.
What happened to the suspect? How did he get past Leighton? Was he in the alley when the shooting happened? Hiding? What about Gann's record? He said something about missing his monthly practice on the range.
Excuse me, Frank, I need it.
Also, anything at all you can find out about Leighton and Gann's relationship. Update from SID, update from the night guides.
Frank.
Keep it low-key. Some people are still edgy about what happened over in the pole. We don't want this becoming something it's not. Oh, Neil, you knew Leighton better than anybody.
No problem. I'll keep him in line.
11 o'clock. The brothers are meeting in roll call.
Looks like the black officer scout troops on the warpath.
And it's important. It's about the shooting. We don't want what happened in the Polk to happen here.
Funny, that's what Farillo just told us.
I don't think we mean the same things.
Excuse me. You Detective Washington?
Right.
I hear you're working the Cocktails Cop case?
Hey, look, I don't have time to talk now. I got a lot on my plate.
Because I've been out there since early. I want to cover that in the course of today.
Hey, JD, what's the story on the photographers?
At our discretion.
See you around.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, who is that? Hi, doctor, put these drops in my eyes. I can't see my freaking nose.
Blind man Bun?
LaRue? Hey, read the Bible, pal. Samson was blind, too. Excuse me. Holy cow. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry, excuse me, everybody.
Need some help, Norman?
Bill, listen, I was thinking maybe I could help you. I heard about your problems with the bum mug. Be thankful you can see. Spare change, mister?
You want to go undercover?
I don't want to hang around here all day.
Norman, you can't see anything.
Hey, you can protect me, all right? What do you think?
What do you think of his state?
You mean is Gans suicidal? It's hard to say. He's all over the place. 1 minute moaning about how he screwed up, next minute blaming Leighton for screwing up. Yeah, he's pretty wrecked up.
What about his family situation?
Nothing great. Divorce, no kids.
Oh, sorry. Chief on line 3.
Thanks, Howard. Gan needs to talk to somebody personally. Chief? I understand. I'm sure you would. Chief, I appreciate that, but I don't think that would be necessary, not at this time. Right. Thank you. He offered division help with the Leighton Gann case.
Outside of IAD?
I declined.
He's probably scared because of the polk.
He didn't mention the polk.
Okay, what do we have here? Oh, my God. Why would anybody want to skin a corpse?
All the skin right off, even the toes.
You know, a grown man, big old hump like that, big dangly arms.
What did he die of?
Hard to tell. No bullet or stabs or anything.
Oh, Lord, think about that poor guy, big old head, humped over, comes into a bar, sits down, orders a beer, talks to a little girl, scares the daylights out of her.
None of the typical signs you'd expect in a situation like this.
What do you mean typical? You seen something like this before?
And shirts! How would an individual that looks like this find a shirt to fit him?
From the subcutaneous bleeding, which, of course, after the unfortunate skinning would no longer be subcutaneous, and the relatively even drying of the flesh, I'd say the victim was skinned alive. Or he died a natural death and then was skinned. I don't know. Just a paramedic. When they pay me to be ME, then I'll let you know.
What an undignified way to go. You remember my sofa when I was having it reupholstered? All the stuffing was out. It looked just like that.
Now, we all know what happened in the polk.
Yeah, that's right.
And we know about the hidden racism in the department. And we know about the efforts to pretend that it doesn't exist. Or to cover it up. And we know about Gann. We know about the cracks he made about Leighton, about his so-called practical jokes, about what I'm saying, his attitude.
Yeah, we all know about attitude.
Now, we are not out to get anybody, as some of our brother officers, white officers,
we'll suggest. And we are not on a witch hunt, as some of our brother officers, white officers, will suggest. But early this morning, Harold Layton walked into an alley, a police officer with a future. And he never walked out of that alley because a white cop, a cop that everyone knows is a racist, a cop who tried to refuse duty with a black officer, shot him. And is that cop indicted?
No.
Is he under arrest?
No.
No. Now, brothers, I am not saying what went down, but I am saying we are going to find out.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Now, we know that there will be no cover-up because there's a member of the Black Officers Coalition participating on the case. Detective Washington.
It's about time.
No cover-up, you can believe it.
I've got the mono at the head of the alley.
Hey, you got business here?
I told you I'm covering the crime scene dawn to dusk.
Well, just stand behind the lines.
Go on.
So we go through it. You be late and I be gang.
Shouldn't it be the other way around?
You just circle the building. Come down the other alley, around the corner, and down to this alley.
Okay. Layton staggers. And he falls. It all checks out.
Look how close we were. Even in the dark, don't tell me that Gann couldn't recognize his partner.
Unless, like he says, he screwed up.
At this distance, I don't call that screwing up. If Layton was facing Gann the way you facing me, and why would Layton turn to his right and stagger back up the alley, huh? Why wouldn't he stagger toward the wall?
Because he didn't.
Unless Gann was standing at the mouth of the alley as Layton came toward him. Layton's off guard. Alley's empty, no perp, no danger. Layton starts to put away his gun. Bang!
Gann set Layton up?
Everyone knows Gann didn't like blacks. Didn't like Layton.
Come on, man. Don't go native on me, okay?
Another thing.
Oh, here we go again. Tell us more about the skinned person, would you, Renko?
The movies. Can you imagine the poor guy trying to fit into a seat? His hump would push him so far forward that he wouldn't have no leg room. Have you ever tried to sit through a whole big movie with your legs all squished up against the seat in front of you? Think about it.
Hey, Luce. Hi. How are you? Not bad. Can we go to dinner some night? Sure. Next week? Yeah, well, call me. My life's been like a demolition derby lately. All right, I will. Take it easy. Yeah.
Disturbance outside grocery store, corner Green and Weymouth.
Let's see what the bad guys are doing.
You know those Chinese back scratchers?
Yeah. Hey, Phillips. So how'd the BOC meeting go?
Pretty good turnout. Mason thinks it's a cover-up.
No arrest?
Only good thing is Washington's on the case.
Hey, drop the gun, now!
Break it up, everybody, right now! War is over, all right? Take it easy. What happened?
Go back to Berlin!
For years we go into this store, and I grocery, we thought. So what happened? Today we go in the nice grocery, and the grocer's wearing a Nazi
2
armband.
years I spent at Treblinka, so now I can buy cornflakes from a Nazi?
Hey, you want to just step inside for a moment? Do you have a permit for this antique?
You know how many times I've been robbed in the last month? 4 times. The cops say put gates on the windows. Well, the gates don't help. Cops say put PBA stickers on the door. The PBA stickers don't help. Look at this. Look at that. See there? Last Thursday, punks hit me right in the face with a can of green beans. So I decided to try to scare them. Since I've been wearing this, I ain't been robbed once.
Do you have a permit for this gun?
No.
Where'd you get all this stuff?
What stuff?
The picture of Hitler, the flags. You really a Nazi?
I ain't saying nothing. It's a free country.
Well, Fritz, we're going to have to take you in for this gun.
In your testimony before the Sullivan Anti-Corruption Subcommittee, you were asked about some questionable associates.
My brother-in-law and his jerky son.
They were involved in mob-related activities.
What does this have to do with Leighton?
That's what I'm asking. What was your relationship with your brother-in-law?
My ex-brother-in-law.
Leighton knew you'd been questioned by the Sullivan Commission.
Commission wasn't after me.
Wasn't suggesting it was.
Check my jacket, except for some Mickey Mouse stuff like missing target practice on Mother Teresa.
Did the business with the Sullivan Commission cause any trouble between you and Leighton?
Nobody said we were in love with each other.
Is that why you kept requesting reassignment?
He didn't like my relatives. I didn't like his.
Are we to take that as a racist remark?
Chief wants to see you.
I'm sorry. Henry, would you take over here a bit?
Chief? I want you to call off the Gann-Leighton investigation. We're going to carry it on downtown.
Why?
I can't tell you that. Oh, for God's sake, Frank. One cop kills another cop. That's a big story, and you've got photographers crawling all over the place. There are going to be leaks all day. I want it out of here.
Gann-Leighton is a Hill case. You take it away, you cast suspicion on the ability and integrity of my people.
I'm not casting suspicion. I'm relieving you of a hot potato. Only one IAD shipment is on it. Everything is strict they need to know.
Unless there's a compelling argument, there's no reason to transfer this case.
Captain, be reasonable. We're on the verge of closing in on some cops who are involved in big drug buys.
What does that have to do with Gann and Leighton?
Investigation of Gann leads to information that queers the bust.
Gann's dirty. Leighton knew it, and Gann killed Leighton.
Both.
Both?
Both were dirty. I don't know who said what to who cheated who, but they were both dirty.
How many others? How deep does this go?
For God's sake, Captain, do I have to spell it out to you?
That's exactly what you have to do. Yes, when you asked me to pull my men off, the Black Officers Coalition had a meeting on this case. I'm sitting on an explosive situation here.
The whole ring's in the anti-crack force. I've set up a special team to investigate. You haven't seen this. This doesn't exist.
Do you have proof, or is this some vague surmise one of your special teams is working on?
Proof, statements, witnesses.
So one dirty cop kills another dirty cop because of some dirty piece of business.
Correct.
You can have 24 hours. On the condition that when the bust goes down, my men participate.
How many? Who?
LaRue and Washington.
You got it.
You and Patsy still on for 7:30 Saturday dinner?
Let's put a hold on that, huh, Frank? Patsy and I are having trouble.
Serious?
It's serious.
Howard, could you raise LaRue and Washington for me, please?
Sure.
Here you go, buddy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Who's there?
You know what I was just thinking? Every year, kids let go of how many balloons would you think? 10,000? 100,000 balloons? These balloons do not go up into space. They don't vanish, you know.
They pop or they lose their air, they fall back to Earth. But we never see them. Where do all these balloons land? What time is it? It's lunchtime. Good, I'm starved. Let's go for a slice. Oh, no. Oh, it's freezing. Now, of course, I'm not a Nazi. But after I put up all that Nazi stuff, I haven't been robbed once. Not once.
But you've got to understand that there are many people in your community that find anything having to do with Nazis offensive.
Yeah, and I feel very bad about that. You think I like going around saying I'm a Nazi? I gotta survive here. My brother had that store for years. Last May, he had a heart attack. You want to know why he had a heart attack? From being robbed, mugged, persecuted.
So you think you're going to scare people off by being a Nazi? You're going to have your windows broken every single night.
The charge against you is serious. You had an unlicensed handgun.
I took that gun off a German soldier in 1944.
Mr. Leonard, if you remove the Nazi material, I think we'll be able to do something about the gun charge. I'm sure my client would consider taking down the objectionable items of Nazi memorabilia, just as I am sure that the department will understand that the gun in question is not a firearm for use, but a collector's item.
Hey, Hitler, is what you're saying right? Take down all the Nazi stuff?
What about my store?
We'll put you down for added pass-by.
That's very encouraging.
My client is fully ready to comply. Aren't you, Mr. Leonard?
Yeah, I'll take down the Nazi stuff.
I'm temporarily taking you off the Gan Layton case.
What?
Just 24 hours, maybe less.
Why?
I can't tell you.
You pull us off the case, you know what's going to happen, Captain? People are going to think something's being covered up.
I give you my word, there's no cover-up.
And I gave my word to the Black Officers Coalition that I'd see this through.
Sorry, that's it. Thank you, gentlemen.
No way.
Hey, man, come on.
Captain, you can't pull us off the case.
I told you. 24 hours. It's from the chief's desk.
Neil, come on.
The chief, huh?
Look, Detective, I know you're busy, but if I could just ask you this one favor?
On these photos, see, in order for them to use them, they gotta have releases of the people in them.
Where do I sign?
No, not you. I mean, we can get you later. Now, I got a photo of the witness this morning.
What witness?
The witness. Witness you guys picked up at the crime scene. Where they keeping him? I just need his name.
What are you talking about?
Hey, Neil, we're off the case.
You saw some cops pick a witness up this morning?
Well, I was out early, taking some pictures of, the street at dawn, stuff like that for the photo essay.
Yeah? Yeah?
So I heard the gunshot. I figured some pusher wasting some other pusher. I head over to this town, figure I might get some real hot shots. And by the time I arrived, there's this cop heading up the alley, and this other cop hustling this kid, this witness, into a car.
How do you know the guy was a witness?
I don't know. I mean, I heard someone say he was, that's all. The shooter cop was sitting on the ground.
Did he see the witness?
I don't think so, no.
What cop took the witness?
Oh, a cop. He was a cop. I don't know, a cop. Plain clothes.
Hey, look, I want to see that picture. Go get it developed.
Yeah, all right. 1 hour or regular service?
1 hour.
You help me get my releases?
Definitely.
You gotta ease up, man.
A witness tagged by someone downtown this morning before the precinct's on the case.
I don't know, man. But if Ferrillo says we're off, he's gotta have some explanation.
Yeah? Try this. Someone's covering for Gan.
Right. Who, Ferrillo? You gotta be out of your mind.
Hey, look, man. What's the one thing the department don't want, huh? A race war. White cop kills black cop. The department's looking at a bad scene, man. Everybody gets told to back off.
Which is what we're gonna do.
Well, I gave my word to Mason that I wouldn't back off.
Not me, man. You do this, you're on your own.
Hey, look, man, I'm telling you, I hope this ain't no cover-up. Because if it is, I'm done as a cop.
Here, turn around. There's a little... Sit down here. You ain't hungry? I bring my own lunch. You figure that costs what? $1.25 for the sandwich, 50 cents for the soda. That's $1.75 it costs you for lunch. And I make my own sandwiches. I want you to try this. Here. That cost me 25 cents a day. I save $1.50. That's $7.50 a week, $30 a month, $360 a year I save on lunch. And I'll tell you something else. In a family situation, you always got to think about those things. And to maximize savings, you got to be a little creative. You like that stuff? What is it? This is a spread that I make. Chopped cabbage, sardine paste, mashed lung, boiled, and a smear of chicken fat. Chicken fat? What's the matter, you got a bone? What? Washington.
Hey, fellas, show you something.
You're still blind. What do you want to know?
Polyester's a detective. Quinlan on night shift said you used to work with him, no?
I don't know. Describe him. He's 5'10", overweight, red cheeks, good nose. Looks like he's got a mole in his forehead. It's Maxie O'Connell. He used to be over at the Heights. And it's not a mole. It's more like a big, ugly red dot. Yeah, that could be red. Yeah, Mole O'Connell. He's division, though.
Hey, thanks, fellas.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
Earth to Robert. We in radio contact here?
I just wish the captain would make a statement.
About what?
About Gannon and Layton. Everybody's talking about a cover-up.
Not to me.
I guess not.
Possible homicide, Sycamore and 139.
2202 in response. Is that a possible because the individual is not deceased yet, or because we don't know the cause of death?
Stiff is deceased.
Okay, get back. Step back.
This one's skinned, too.
I noticed.
That's 2 skinned corpses today.
I noticed that, too.
Within a dozen blocks?
Right.
You know, this one looks more like a sumo wrestler or something. I mean, at least the guy's not a hunchback.
In the opinion of my superiors, that hunchback was a gorilla.
Gorilla?
And if you ask me, this looks like a grizzly bear.
In trouble.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Charleston. Thank you.
Yo.
Any news? Hey, don't you have a shift coming up, Mason?
First, we're off the case.
What?
Second, division's been working the street from the jump, man.
Let's get the brothers downstairs.
I want Perillo down there, too.
Hey, Wash, what's the word?
Detective O'Connell of division's got a witness stash.
Downstairs, soon as we get the people.
You know, this is a hell of a thing. Incident like this, people get all screwed up.
Mason's doing it.
Yeah, well, if I was Mason, I'd be wondering, too.
Captain, there's gonna be a BOC meeting. We want you there. Before you go, take a look at Detective Mole O'Connell out of division. 5 a.m. at the crime site.
I told you I can't say anything. I'm under orders. But I can assure you there's been no cover-up.
Why were we taking off the case?
Captain, we heard the division grabbed the thing before we ever got a chance to work it.
Or hiding stuff while we were trying to work.
Well, that part's inexcusable, and there'll be an accounting. But there's a reason.
Yeah, there's a reason, all right.
Yeah, and we know what that reason is. You got a white cop that killed the black cop.
Yeah. You're talking about racism?
White and black, Captain. white and black.
No, 2 officers. 1 dead, 1 alive, in tragic circumstances which are being investigated.
Who's investigating?
You know who's investigating. And we all know what happened at the polk. Any attempt to make this case bigger than it is could light a fire in this community that would be very hard to put out. And that wouldn't do you or anybody any good.
Everyone knew Gann had it in for Layton. You can't protect Gann forever.
You accusing me of obstructing justice?
Just giving justice a little too much room to operate in, Captain.
Let me remind you, this is not a debating society. If anybody has a complaint or a specific charge to make, let him file it with proper authorities. Neil, J.D., in my office. This isn't for Mason, it's not for the coalition, it's just for you.
Yeah?
You don't hear it unless I know it goes no further. And if you don't hear it, I'm taking you off the case permanently.
Come on, man.
Hey, look, I don't want to get in a position, Captain. I mean, I'm betraying anybody.
I'm not betraying you, so you won't be betraying anybody else.
Okay.
Gann and Layton were tied in with some cops who were using the anti-crack team to make drug deals. Major deals. Apparently Layton wanted out. Gann killed him. Division has it all. Statements, everything.
Drug deal? Mason is wrong.
Hey, brother, I told you, things ain't always what they appear to be.
And that's worth taking us off the case for?
A deal's going down this afternoon. The chief isn't sure, but he thinks it's a 6-figure payoff. He's afraid if word leaks out that we know about Gann, the others will figure we know about everything else, and they'll just go into hiding. So when the division task force hits, I want you with them.
Oh, excuse me, Frank. Detective Mayo called.
Just tell her I'll call back home.
Well, with some kind of an apology about Saturday night dinner, she sounded rather upset.
Later, Howard.
Look, Captain, about the meeting.
I think it gave everybody a chance to get their fears out.
Right.
Come on.
Another gorilla. But I think we gotta leave here. Larry Bush, purveyor of fine meats and meat products.
Larry, is that your gorilla?
Who says so?
I do. There's a trail of dead animals leading to your place here.
Hey, Mr. Bush, we're missing 6 sides of specialty. The lock of the truck busted again. Every time we hit a pothole, we lose another carcass.
So what if it's mine?
You're in serious trouble.
I am for what?
False purveying the public?
What are you guys talking about, huh? Did you read the papers about people's changing tastes? These days, trying to make it in beef, lamb, pork, forget it. You never heard of venison, boar, quail, beefalo, huh? The gorilla, too. I give them what they want. They love it. Meat Novell, huh? Come back when you got a legitimate beef.
What are you going to charge him with, Rico? Littering? Let's get out of here.
You're the one that don't have a legitimate beef.
I've been there, buddy. I've been right there where you sit, buddy. This very street. This very corner. I sat right where you are. I was as down and out as you. I figured life was all over for me. But look at me now. Just look at me now. I was drunk as bad as you. And vacuum cleaner bags. My company makes vacuum cleaner bags. Grosses $250,000 a year. Leave me alone. That's what I said when everybody tried to help me. But you can get out of the gutter like I did. It can be done. Come on. You can do it. You got a shot. left. Come on. That's it. Get up on your haunches.
Look, buddy, you're gonna have your spot back in a minute. And the way you're drinking, you're gonna need it. Now leave me alone.
Come on, pal. You don't have to beg. You can do it on your own. You can do it. Oh, no. No. Don't mug him. Hey! Joyce, Oh, that was me.
I'm sorry. Hey, man, you're just doing your job.
Come on.
I knew Gann from a weekend's weapons seminar. Not too great an individual. Layton I never met.
Nice kid. Little flash. Little. If he were a baseball player, you'd call him a foot-long dog.
Disturbance outside grocery store, corner of Green and Weymouth.
Oh, man. Uberall is so hot.
They run at me. They all run at me.
You see which way he went?
I was inside, damn it. You want me to get shot, too?
Can't find him. Come on, let's take a drive around. Get in.
Lock it up. I was doing fine before.
Come on, we'll show you some books of pictures. You never know.
I know. I'll look at pictures for an hour, then you tell me you'll give me more pass by.
The ASPCA, so they said that you would know.
The zoo. The department? The Gorilla House?
Ask you what your name was, hairbag. Hey, these eye drops are starting to wear off. I can see stuff.
Yes, sir. They are? How long? Oh. Yes, sir. We'll be back to you soon. Thank you. This is what's missing from the morgue at the zoo.
You got a morgue at the zoo?
2 gorilla carcasses, a bear, and 3 other wildlife deceased.
Notting Hill meat.
That's right.
Notting Hill meat.
Hey, this say Notting Hill Meats? Yeah, why? This time back free, you know what I mean?
Excuse me, gentlemen. Somebody care for a sandwich here?
Oh, Larry. What's that?
Excuse me. Cold cuts?
Oh, here. Larrabee. Have a sandwich.
Sandwich, Mason?
Why don't you beg Gann a sandwich so he can take it downtown?
Come, man. Give Justice time to work. Meanwhile, Larry Winston here has had 38 years in accounting.
Oh, 38 years? Well, Layton didn't even make 3. You know what I think about your 38 years?
Mason! You're on report.
Howard, this is not the time for a party. Pack it up.
Where's the stuff? Where's the stuff? All I got's change.
Don't put down. Nothing over here.
300, 4, 500 bucks. This gonna be it, guys?
Morons, who is setting this guy up for bribery?
Yeah.
Teachers get bigger payoffs than this in the 3rd grade classroom on the corner.
Told you, this is Mickey Mouse, man. Keep looking, okay?
2 grunt-level cops in a 6-bit scam. Think maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg, Neil?
Right. The iceberg is about the size of my toaster.
Hey, brother, you got a minute here?
Hey, Mason, what's your problem?
Oh, what's my problem? My problem's a brother who was on the case, promised there'd be no cover-up, promised to deal straight.
Hey, look, I ain't the chief, all right?
No, you're just the cop who rolled over.
Hey, man, hey, you don't know anything.
There's some stuff I don't need to know, Wash.
You don't know, man. You don't know. I don't even know.
And that's good enough for you.
Come on!
I put Mason on report for starting a scuffle. By logic, I should put you on, too.
Well, that's just great then, Captain. Just go right ahead.
How'd the bus go?
Wasn't any six-figure deal. Wasn't even a buy. It was just a cheap-jack low-level payoff.
2 detective thirds, Rogers and Hamlin. Division's got them.
And you put me out there, Captain. After I told you I gave my word to the brothers. You took me up the case, I went along with that. You played me this song and dance about the big bus getting quit. I went along with that.
Let me find out.
It's too late for finding out now, Captain. It's too late for me with a lot of people.
Let me find out. Going over to Division, Howard. Call the chief, tell him I'm on the way.
The animals die of natural causes. They keep the bodies frozen. Once a month we pick them up.
Oh, once a month you steal them.
All right, this way.
You the owner of Notting Hill Meats?
Yes, sir. Larry Bush. Sir, could you help me out of this misunderstanding here?
I tried one of your meat products.
You like it?
You had a witness to the shooting all day. You were on the case 6 hours before you informed me. At which point you pull us off with assurances of a major arrest, which I reluctantly go along with. Pull my men away, make them promises based on your promises, and it's all crap.
I can't help it if the haul was smaller than expected.
What about the witness? The one O'Connell snatched at 5 this morning.
Frank, I told you about the need for secrecy.
You lied to me.
Now, that's a little harsh, don't you think, Captain?
Detective Mayo's here to see you.
Tell her to wait 5 minutes.
Excuse me, it doesn't wait.
Patsy.
Detective, excuse me.
No, stay. Patsy, whatever our personal relations, I've got a captain in my office, and I won't tolerate...
Won't tolerate what? Won't tolerate this? You know what he did?
Patsy, come on.
I told him a month ago it was finished. He had me tailed. He found out who I was going out with, and now you set up Ricky. He set up my boyfriend. He set up an innocent cop, Captain.
I didn't set anyone up.
To hurt me, you ruined Ricky Rogers' career.
Patsy, that is preposterous.
Go to hell.
Rogers was guilty of sin.
I don't know which is worse, a cover-up or a penny ante personal vendetta.
Frank, this whole thing's been hell on me.
Hell on you. I have one of my best cops, one of the best cops in the city, about to do exactly what Patsy did because he thinks I lied to him. Neil Washington would give his life for this department, and you cost him face in front of every black cop on the Hill.
I'm sorry.
Sorry doesn't cut it, Chief. If it costs me my own badge, you're going to apologize to him and my black officers.
What?
I have a scandal here. I have 20 cops who think of you, me, and everybody as racist crooks.
There was never a hint of racism.
Tell them that.
I'll talk to you, BOC, immediately after shift.
Thank you.
If you can think of any way to keep Patsy from blabbing, I could use a favor back.
Your apology isn't a favor.
Hey, we just thought we'd swing by, see how you were doing.
No matter what happened today, I think it was a good idea to take down all that Nazi stuff.
Yeah, you were right about the Nazis. Mafia's better.
Just to be clear, Officer Gann has been arrested, charged with murder one in the death of his partner, Hal Layton. Gann has also been charged, along with Officers Rogers and Hamlin of the Anti-Crack Task Force, with bribery and public corruption. Until this matter is resolved, all 3 officers are on suspension. We delayed in arresting Officer Gann on the murder charge until we could bring charges in the bribery case. We did this for reasons that I thought were necessary and that turned out to be insufficient. The extent of the bribery was neither as widespread nor as pervasive as surveillance suggested. Sometimes you have to do something extra. I asked your captain for silence, and he obliged me. In executing my wishes, he commanded Detectives Washington and LaRue temporarily off the Gann case, which I understand, if left to his own excellent devices, Detective Washington might have solved in a matter of hours. As for racism, I will not tolerate it in this department. I apologize for any misunderstanding that may have been due to my own miscalculation.
Neil, I want to thank you for your support today. I hope I was able to give a portion back.
You were, Captain.
What'd he say?
Excuse me. That I was too good for my partner.
Hey, everybody knows that.
Let me tell you about Gann and Layton. It doesn't matter. What doesn't?
What happened out there? Who shot who, why? Yeah, it matters. But once you start wondering, man, you see it everywhere anyway. It just drives you crazy. It really does. I think I've been crazy out there, Commodore.
No, you're sane. You're the sanest one out there.
Just keep moving along. Just keep doing your job. Keep saying hello, goodbye, pass the salt. You know what racism is? It ain't just hatred. Yeah, it's hatred. And it's things people do, but it's also what you got to think about. Some damn thing happens out there, you just can't keep saying, well, what went down? Somebody like Mason starts asking questions. You want to pretend that he's crazy for thinking that way. And then some white guy starts looking at black guys funny, wondering what the hell are they stirring up all that trouble for? And black guys start looking at white guys that they know, brother officers, partners, just because they're white, they don't know what it's like. And then you get angry, man. You get angry because the white guys don't see. And you get angry at yourself because you can't stop seeing it.
Well, you know, you're angry at me, right? You're angry.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I was. Damn things when you got to keep thinking about it when all you really want to do is live your life.
Yeah. It's hard enough just to live your life, man.
Yeah, it is.
Is this Layton?
Detective Washington.
I just wanted to tell you that you might hear some things about the circumstances of your son's death.
Yes.
About racial problems and some other things. I wouldn't pay any of it any mind. Not any of it. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry you ever helped my son be a cop.
Me too.